At some point, you're going to have to realize that you are the reason you have not arrived at your goals. Okay? You know, the past 10 years, I've been a personal trainer. I've also been an individual who is striving to be a better version of myself from a health and fitness perspective. I also have aesthetic goals. I also have performance goals, and at the end of the day, there's something called the triangle of awareness and understanding, that all goals don't require the same exact efforts and inputs. So let's start with understanding your goal. If we had a triangle here, and to be honest, I might as well just fucking draw it for you guys, because why not? So if we have a triangle here, I've talked about this on like 5 YouTube videos, so I'm sure you can find this in another YouTube video too. But triangle, we have performance goals, we have aesthetic goals, and we have general health. Okay, let's get this really close to the camera. So we have general health at the top of the pyramid, aesthetic, performance. You can be anywhere on these lines. Say you're right here, straw dot. You have a goal of having more confidence in the way your body looks. Maybe you want a six-pack, maybe you want larger arms, bigger glutes. But alternatively to that, you're also going to the gym and focused on your nutrition because you generally just want to be a healthier individual. You wouldn't say that you want this being like the best blood work, the best health outcomes, going to live as long as possible, longevity, more than you want a bigger butt or a six-pack, but you also wouldn't say you want a bigger butt or a six-pack more than you want general health. So we put this right here in the middle. The problem is there's typically a discrepancy between your goals and what you're doing. And for somebody who claims that they, want a six-pack, but their behaviors don't match up with that, or the way they're eating doesn't match up with that, or how they're prioritizing their sleep doesn't match up with that, then you might find it difficult to actually achieve your goal. Or let's say you lean heavier towards aesthetics, right? So let's just say your main goal is aesthetics, but you really want your blood work to improve. You really want to have better cognitive health. You really just want to be super healthy and live as long as possible. Well, being the most aesthetic individual on earth with 5% body fat and being super lean, requires a certain way of eating, requires a certain amount of activity, requires a certain level of focus and intention around nutrition and what you put in your body. And that may not align with your general health. You might need to live at a higher body fat percentage to have better overall health. And by higher body fat percentage, I'm not talking 30 or 40, but maybe you need to move higher up on the spectrum of, what it is to be a healthy male or a healthy female. So if they give you a general range for females between 18 and 28% body fat being the general healthy ranges, and for males, I think it's anywhere between 12 and 20 being generally healthy ranges, then dropping down to 6% may not be ideal for your health goals. So hopefully I'm starting to make sense. Let's just say your goal is performance. So you want to lift 550 pounds. That's your goal. You want to have a 550 back squat. Well, that may not match up with aesthetic goals if you want a super lean six-pack, right? So let's just say you want to be 6% body fat, but you also want to squat 550. That may not be ideal. Mass moves mass. You might need to be heavier. You might need to be thicker. You might need to pack on more muscle mass. You might need to eat more to support your ability to perform that 550 back squat. Or let's say general health. Maybe that's not the most ideal thing to be working towards because you have a history of osteoporosis in your family and you're 50 years old. I don't know. And maybe lifting that heavy may not be ideal for your structure or for your joints or for your tissue quality. So you really need to understand where you're at on this triangle of awareness and make sure that your inputs match the output you're searching for. So that's part one of what I'm saying here. Part two of what I'm saying here is you can't complain about not being where you want to be if you do not, understand the path you need to take to get there. So you can complain all you want about not having a six-pack or not having a bigger ass, but let's just say for the individual who wants to grow their butt, if you're eating fucking 1,200 calories a day, you're missing meals, you're not hitting your protein goals, you're not training legs because you don't like feeling sore, because it requires too much energy, then why are you talking out loud to yourself or to anybody else about not having a bigger butt when you haven't put in the inputs to get the output you're searching for? Same thing goes for somebody who wants to, I want to be I used to be the fastest guy in my high school. I still want to be the fastest guy, in my friend group at 40 years old. Well, if you're not fucking sprinting, bud, if you're not training and building up the capacity to sprint and handle that, and eating properly and strength training to support, what your body's going to call upon from you for your sprints, then why are you talking about it 3 years later when you set this goal 3 years ago? So I guess what I'm trying to say is, I think too often people complain about not being where they want to be, but they're the person that's responsible for getting there. And so complaining about not being where you want to be, or looking for sympathy, or looking for love or attention or support from your friend group that you've been telling you had this goal for the past 5, 6, 7 years, but you're not doing what's necessary to get there, is should be frustrating to yourself and should piss you off, because you haven't become the version of yourself that you claim you want to be. I feel like I'm just talking. Something earlier today frustrated me and made me think about this, and it's just people who say they want something but their behaviors don't match it. And we're all guilty of it at some point, but how long are you going to be guilty of it? How long are you going to complain about it? How long are you going to search for sympathy or attention for it? How many Facebook posts, Twitter posts are you going to make about it before you understand that you're the problem and you need to change the way you look at yourself? You need to arrive at the destination before you get there. You need to operate like the type of individual who wants to be the person that you claim you want to be before you're actually going to get there. So anyways, hopefully this quick rant made sense in some way, and if it didn't, fucking comment, talk shit. That way I can, learn how to communicate more efficiently to make this shit make sense. You know what I'm saying? You dig me? Anyways, with that rant being done, thank you for watching this video. Coach Stutzer. I run Foundry Health and Performance. If you're looking for any support with your health and fitness goals, your performance goals, whether online or in person. If you're in person, you'll have to be in LA, West LA. If you're online, I can help you anywhere in the world. Feel free to go to www.foundryhp.com or check out the description for more information. And let me know what type of content y'all want to hear, because I need to post more YouTube videos, but I need more shit to talk about, and I want it to be helpful to y'all. So please let me know.